Righto, it's time to start doing this fella in here. Now, as you can see, we're there. That's a picture of the original before we took the parts out, and over there is the schematic. And yeah, we'll go from there. We'll have a look, see how we go with things. I think this should be pretty straightforward. First thing I'm going to do up here is this is our center tap. Now I'm going to connect it to ground. I have two terminals on here, fairly heavy terminals that are grounded to the chassis, well grounded. I'm going to put a copper wire in between those so that we can use any of this as our ground and to make certain it's a ground, and then ground the center tap. So that's where we're starting, and then we'll start wiring the rest. And this will take a little bit of heating. My small iron here isn't the hottest of irons. Got to heat this up from scratch, and with a workshop temperature in here of, well, I don't know, 4 degrees, 5 degrees. I haven't put the heater on this morning. This is early morning, so anyway, it'll warm up eventually. Okay, there he goes. There we go. Now, we'll do the same up here. He's a little bit long. I'll just chop a little bit off him. Anyway, eventually, we're getting a little bit closer to having this going. Now, I don't have any cloth-covered cable at the moment. I was supposed to order some from Carl, and yeah, with everything else, totally forgot about it. So, for the moment, we're just putting in a black 3-core flex, standard plug, 3-pin plug for Australia's 240 volt. Righto. It's not sitting down nicely like I'd like it to. Yeah, we'll keep at this fella. These are fair sized terminals, so they take a fair bit of heat. Okay, that's a bit better. So we've got an earth bar there that we can use. Okay, now we've got to go from the centre tap. If you can see the picture just above my hand there. Yep, from up here, and he goes down. And as per the circuit, as you can see, the centre tap of the HT is grounded. And all centre taps are grounded. So we've got the 6.3 centre tap here, which is grounded. And up the other end, we've got the 4 volt as well. So this is the centre tap for the HT. Centre tap, I don't know whether that's connected to anything. Centre tap for the 6.3 and centre tap for the 4 volts. The 4 volts is these two. And our 6.3 is, yeah, one of these fellas, I think, those two. But anyway, we'll get to that. Now, this fella, we need a good ground on him, but probably not as heavy as that. I will find some black wire to match this fella and put him in. And if you probably heard in the silence there, a little bit of rain happening in the background. Boy, we've had lots and lots and lots of rain over the past few days. And this workshop isn't terribly insulated against the sound of the rain, so yeah, I've got to do a video in between showers. Otherwise, you can't hear yourself think in here. It is the workshop is a modified shed. That's it has been lined with, well, not lined. We do have some thermal insulation, but yeah, doesn't do a hell of a lot. Right. It does protect me in the summer, I must admit. It's very cool in here in the summer. Wintertime gets a bit chilly. Right, okay. Now, we have these wires here go over to the AK2, and we know it's a 4-volt filament. Now, looking at the picture, you may be able to see the picture there. I don't think I can't adjust the size of that picture so at the moment, so you're stuck with what I can see. But the 4 volts is this one here. It's got 4 next to it. And this one here, which has got 4 in there. So it's those two. And the center tap of the 4-volt winding is this fella. Okay, so next one up, let's connect our 4-volt winding. I'll just tin the ends of the cable. Right, there's our 4-volt winding complete to the AK2. Now, I talk to myself, as well as you guys, I talk to myself doing this, so I can remember where I'm up to. Okay, so next we'll do our HT to our 80. Now, the HT is up here. We've got 385 written on here, 385 here, and our center tap. So let's connect these couple. And as I said earlier, let's try to do that so you guys can see. This wire is way too heavy for what I'm doing here, but it's, as I said before, it's the cloth covered wire I've got. That's what we use. Okay, there's our HT wires to the 80 rectifier. Very close to original wiring. Now, these fellas, this is our 5-volt filament winding. Now, the 5-volt filament winding, I'm pretty sure goes between these two. I'll double check this with a meter. I'm certain these are the 5-volt windings, and according to the picture, that's where it went. So across there, we're looking at 1.1 ohms, and there's nothing else connected anywhere. This doesn't have a center tap. So those two, and as you can see by the picture, are our 5-volt winding. Okay, so now I've used red because, well, of course, one of the fellas here has HT on him, on the filament. But you guys already know that. And if you didn't, well, there's some information for you. And if you look at the circuit, you can see that anyway. I really need some good, well, a bit smaller cloth-covered wire. So can you guys leave some comments for me as to where on earth, where in the world can we get just some reasonable quality, smaller cloth-covered wire for doing radio restores like this? There's a couple of places here in Australia, but they're very expensive, and Yeah, it sort of, well, it just all adds to the expense of doing the whole job. But anyway, if you could leave that in the comments, be really appreciated. Right, there's only 2 to go, and it's our 6.3. Now, I'm pretty sure it's those 2. Okay, let's have a look. And it might be this one and this one. I'm pretty sure. Let's have a look here. Now, we look at our diagram there, and it certainly is. It's 6.3. Now, there's also 2 other wires that go up towards the front of the radio there. You can probably see. That's for our dial lights. Okay, so there's a couple of dial lights that also connect to these 2. Haven't done them yet. We've got to get the radio going first before we do anything with the dial lights. They do need new cabling. They're a mess. So we'll do this first, and then we'll round up a power cord to put on this. And then it's getting a little bit closer. We also have the tone potentiometer to go yet. Okay, so yeah, no guys, I haven't forgot it. It still needs something in this hole up here. So I'll go through your comments there on recommendations, because it was a 15K and it was wire wound. And yeah, it does dissipate a little bit of current, a little bit of wattage there. So what we're replacing it with will be a carbon track pot. I don't have any 15K wire wounds. So we'll look into that. We'll go through the comments and work it out. I think Ian made some very good points on what to replace that with. So yeah, we'll have a look through them. Look at that. Okay, she's basically wired up. Right. Okay, we'll get a. I've got a black power cable here, a temporary one that we're going to put on this. We'll go and grab that and wire it in. Now back here for temporarily, I better get this so I can see what I'm looking at. Back here, we've got a little grommet and strain relief. Well, there's a little hole here. Now I'm thinking of bringing the cable in, having a clamp here, and then just wiring from there. So at the moment, as I said, I'll be doing a plastic 3-core cable, and once I get my cloth covered from Carl, we'll be able to put him in, and yeah, it'll make it look more original. Okay, we'll go and get that. We have our power cord ready to put in. Sorry about the rain in the background. You can probably hear a whole heap of noise, and yeah, it's raining fairly heavy now. So, okay, we've got the power cord in, just sitting here. I've put a terminal on it for our ground, which will be going on that fella there. As I said, this cable is only temporary, but normally I would put a star washer on that as well. Just at the moment, this will suffice for the moment. Now, something to do that fella up. That one, I think, is the right fit. Right, that's our ground. Now, strain relief, but first of all, I'll wire these 2. Now, the active is going to here, and what I'm doing is I'm fusing it, okay? Just a simple little fuse holder can save a fire, save all sorts of things. So, as you know, you should always fuse things. So I'm going to put in a 2 amp fuse in this one. I'm sure yes, it's a time delay 2 amp fuse. Okay, just a little holder, and we'll tack him in there. You'll see what I'm doing in a minute. I'm putting it in the active line of, not that it matters a hell of a lot if there's a lot of current draw, but make a habit of doing that. Always on the active side. Okay, we'll get this neutral on the 240 volt lug. 240 volts here in Australia. Well, it should be 230, but yeah, it never is. It's always a lot above it. Now, I'm going to just solder the fuse holder just onto the transformer and solder this fella onto there. Yes, it's big and ugly and dangerous by the look of it, but so's all this. So the idea is, don't touch the damn thing when it's going. That's, yeah, unless you know what you're doing. And yes, it'll nab you and it'll give you a nasty shock, but we won't go into that. You guys should know about electric shocks and how it can occur. Just don't become too complacent with everything. That's how it all happens. So we're going on the first one, which is our common for our AC. I'll put him in there. Once again, this may be rearranged once I put the next power cord in. Looks a bit how you going, doesn't it? I don't like it, but for the moment, it will be fine. And if I wanted to make this a little bit nicer and more protection, put some heat shrink over it. It just means it's a nuisance when you blow a fuse. Rightio. We're bringing our cable in, and I'm attaching to the side of the radio like that. Now I'll heat this a little bit with a heat gun to make things more pliable, and we can get in here and get things a little bit nicer than what they are. Righto guys, well, we've got the power cable secured. I did put a plastic sheath around one of the bolts here and up beside the fuse holder, just in case it gets bumped over near, although it shouldn't. I might put a little dob of Celastic or something like that just in there next to the fuse holder, so it holds it in place. It won't be able to move then. Neutral wire is in position, and yeah, I think that all looks pretty good. So main thing is secure, fused. That's always do this. Okay, now of course we've got the speaker arrangement and everything, but the next thing will be the tone control. So it's raining that heavy in here, I can hardly hear myself think at the moment, so I'm just going to give it a rest for today, go and have some lunch, and if it eases off, I'll try this afternoon or in the morning, and we'll go through the comments on the tone control and work out what I'm going to put in there to experiment with to start with anyway. Okay, so that's the next thing.